lineup of stories with you. There's a new activity to partake in Tobago as a skating rink has been opened. You'll meet CARICOM Youth Ambassador Luke James Trim. And have you ever heard about a floating wheelchair? Well, we have the scoop on that in this week's Let's Talk Tobago. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Bonaccord Crown Point Electoral District. It's your turn. The THA Executive Council is coming to meet with you as we continue our District Town Hall meeting series.
Canaan, Bonaccord and environs come out that we can know definitely what is happening in our community.
Make sure you all come out and air all your views.
We invite you to come out in your numbers at the Canaan Bonaccord Community Center on Tuesday 26 September at 6:30 p.m. as the Executive Council members give updates on existing and upcoming programs and projects. You also get the opportunity to share your concerns and ask questions. So, join us from 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday 26 September at the Canaan Bonaccord Community Center for the Executive Council's District Town Hall meeting. People of Bonaccord, including Bonaccord Development, Milford Court, Crown Point and Storbay Local Road. This meeting is for you. Remember, your voice matters.
The latest attraction in Tobago is a new skating rink opened at Big Dog Sports Bar, very near to this villa. Now, if I had a roller skate, I'd have said, let's skate into this next story, but you know what? Let's skate into this next story regardless. We hope you enjoy.
I think the initiative is a wonderful initiative. I'm catching my tail right now, but I'm catching back my bearings. You understand? It's a good vibes, trust me. The energy is great. You can see the ground, everybody outside. It's a great turnout. This is the first time.
I am enjoying it very much, like 100%.
I'm sure you can tell that they were having loads of fun at the newly built skating rink located at Big Dog Spa and Sporting Lounge, Bonaccord. The rink is the latest attraction to the greatest little island on the planet, and at its opening, excitement filled the air as the rink brought out the young and the young at heart for a fun-filled evening.
I didn't skate for the longest while. I'm extremely happy to hear that there is this opportunity, particularly for our young people, and it brings back my old times, and I'm really happy how much I still can do and practice, and I'm happy for everybody in Tobago that we have this opportunity here.
Tobago hardly has stuff doing, right? And this is an entertainment for the young people. Other than the beaches and stuff, you have somewhere where you could burn out a little energy, get a little exercise in. The experience it's thrilling, one, and I would advise anybody to come try your skills, see how good you could get. Don't expect it to just come out and be perfect at it, right? You might have some fall, you might have some good stance and stuff, but you know, come out and enjoy yourself.
The rink will be open for use Fridays to Sundays from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Skates can be rented at $40 for sizes 6 and under and $50 for sizes 7 and over for a duration of 2 hours. There's a floating wheelchair at the Pigeon Point Heritage Park. Yes, you heard correctly, a floating wheelchair, and we'll tell you all about it in this story.
The pristine and calming waters at Pigeon Point make for an enjoyable sea bath and overall relaxing experience. But simply getting into the water can prove to be dreadful for the differently abled. Well, the staff at Pigeon Point Heritage Park is catering to their needs. Water wheels are a floating 3-wheeled beach buggy chair that allows special needs people easy access into the water.
When you bring your family member to the beach, the floating wheelchair that the Pigeon Point Heritage Park they provided for you, it's more accessible. You could actually take him into the water. The chair is going to be the person is going to be lying in the chair floating.
In the past, the lifeguards used manpower to take physically challenged persons into the water. But this new piece of equipment makes the process less strenuous.
Time's going by, we had some serious heavyweights that we have to use manpower to try to lift it out to the water, and it's been very, very hard. So the floating wheelchair, trust you me, it's a serious and it's more accommodating for us as well.
Don't worry, it's easy to get onto and the users will be securely strapped. Visitor Shan Ramkisun was pleased to know that the physically challenged are being catered to.
This is my first time visiting here, and I must say the facilities is amazing, and it's a great initiative by Pigeon Point Park to include that for the differently able persons, and I totally recommend it to any disabled persons or different able persons to come and enjoy the new facility here.
There is only one floating wheelchair at the Heritage Park, but there are plans to acquire another. It costs only $100 per half hour to use this new equipment. You can make reservations by calling 639-0601, or you can send an email to contact@pigeonpoint.tt. I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards for Let's Talk Tobago.
So in this next story, you're going to meet a young Tobagonian man. He's 22 years old. He's from Mount St. George, Tobago. His passions include journalism, crisis management, public speaking, youth activism, and many, 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 many more. He is Luke James Trim, and he has recently been appointed as the CARICOM Youth Ambassador from Tobago. Welcome to our set, Luke.
Thank you for having me, and we're chatting with Luke James Trim, CARICOM Youth Ambassador for the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Right. Now, Luke, I remember you from your days at Hope Anglican Primary School. I was a reporter then, and you were the top male SEA student in Tobago. Yes. So you've always been destined for greatness. So I started with that, but can you tell our viewers a little about yourself?
Well, I've always been the type of person that's been passionate about becoming the best version of myself, and I also wanted to apply that level of care to young people here in Tobago. So like you said, I got involved in many, many, many things, and I always wanted to bring young people up with me, because I was always of the belief that while people always obsess about networking up the board, getting to know those at the top, I always love to network across the board so that the young people that look like me, the young people that are beside me, they can also achieve success.
Okay. And viewers, the CARICOM Youth Ambassador Program aims to deepen the levels of youth participation in regional integration and national development. Now, Luke, tell our viewers about the selection process to become a CARICOM Youth Ambassador for Trinidad and Tobago.
So the selection process was very, very vigorous. Even on the digital form, they asked for a lot. They really wanted to know you, because at the end of the day, you're now going to be representing young people on a regional, national, and international scale. So I sent in my digital application, and I most likely forgot about it. Then I got a call and they were telling me, okay, we want to have an interview with you at the Division of Community Development. Now, when I entered, it was a panel and they started asking the questions. And what I noted about the interview process is that they really tested your level of knowledge about the youth space. Someone would have probably thought they're going to come and ask you about what's CARICOM and all those stuff, but no, they wanted to see how in tune you were with the issues happening in the youth space here in Tobago, in Trinidad, and in the region. So yes, the interview process, it was it's something that really lets you know that you have to be in the know. If you want to represent people, you need to know what is going on, what is happening, and I enjoyed it, and I was shocked to find out that I was successful.
Okay, and why now?
Why now? That's an interesting question. People always ask why now, and I always say why not now, because this is the opportunity where young people have to get active. This is the opportunity where we see so many youths being marginalized. We see our young boys, they are getting into crime, or young girls, they are dropping out of school because of teenage pregnancy or problems at home. I think too often we are realizing that young people are now becoming a statistic. There's this huge issue of youth tokenism here in Trinidad and Tobago, where young people, where it may seem that we have an opportunity, that we have a seat at the table, we aren't really building that meaningful connections with the older heads, and our voices are not really being heard. So from young, I've always been told, what, Luke, one of these days I'm not going to get you into trouble, because I was always a rebel from small. I was always advocating for others. I was always standing up for those who couldn't stand up for themselves. So when I saw the opportunity that I can become a CARICOM Youth Ambassador, I said, okay, Luke, this is your opportunity to keep doing what you've been doing.
And you talked about advocating for others. You're currently a law student.
Yes,
You didn't tell us
correct.
that. Tell us about that journey so far.
Well, shockingly, I always wanted to be a doctor. From sixth form, it's always been doctor. You know, both my sisters are doctors. So my parents thought that, okay, let's get a third one. But I remember in sixth form, I got into the Tobago Day debates, and I debated. I would have advocated for those students at Scarborough Secondary School to have their school repaired. I would have also advocated that as young people that we are not just left on the wayside. I would have spoke about the issues of doctors having to be unemployed after their internship, and from that experience, I said, you know what, maybe I should get into something a bit more diplomatic. So then I started researching and realized that maybe a career flow would be for me. So after sixth form, I would have done my certificate in criminology at UWI Open Campus, and we had a mock trial competition where I had to act as a defense lawyer, where I defended another person that was marginalized in society, a Venezuelan. And from that case, when I won, I said, okay, look, this is for me. And from that, I said, I want to be a lawyer.
Okay. Were you involved in any youth groups before, or are you involved in any youth groups at the moment?
Well, I've been involved in the Youth on Tobago updates. Currently at the Tobago Youth Council, I'm the project lead, where I get to work along some dynamic people like Janie Campbell. You know, she's the education officer. So we work hand in hand. Also, I am now the incoming vice president for international external affairs and partnerships in the Trinidad and Tobago Youth Ambassadors. So I've been involved also when it comes to youth groups. I've always been the background character when it comes to these youth groups. Sometimes people will come to me for advice. Sometimes when they have an issue or a crisis that they need some advice on, I would help them. And I always like to encourage young people that, you know, visibility does not equate to success. I think there's this issue here in the Tobago space where our youth leaders, they will post the long captions on Facebook to make it seem like they're doing the work, when in actuality, not much is being done on their part. So I always encourage young people, don't be afraid to just fall back. Don't be afraid to go to war with the man or the woman in the mirror and try to unlock new levels within yourself, and let your success, let your work do the speaking for you.
Right. And as CARICOM Youth Ambassador for the term 2023 to 2025, do you have any projects in mind that you'd like to educate young people on?
Yes, I have projects I would like to educate people on. Me alongside my other ambassador, that's Ms. Samantha Ramprasad. I think we will be focusing on climate change. Also, we would like to educate our young people about HIV and AIDS, and probably STIs also. Because I think in the Tobago space especially, getting an STI has been too normalized. You know, they just say, oh, well, I just take a pill for it and, you know, go back and fall back into the same destructive behavior that got them there in the first place. So climate change, HIV and AIDS, also continuing to represent those marginalized. I have some interesting work I like to do with migrant kids. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but you all will see, you all will be updated, and those are some of the projects we'll be executing.
Okay. Where do you think Luke will be in the next 5 years?
Well, I can't tell the future, but what I can tell you in the next 5 years, I see myself standing with those who are marginalized and just advocating for them. I see myself in the middle of protests. I see myself trying my best to reshape our laws in Trinidad and Tobago. I think we are supposed to be a pluralistic societies, but we still have many communities here who are still not being represented, especially in our legal system. So that would be my first work in 5 years. I hope that in the next 5 years, I can also be a mentor for the other CARICOM Youth Ambassadors, those who will succeed me, those who would like to get into diplomacy and advocating. That is where I see myself in 5 years.
Okay, and we've gotten to know the professional side of Luke James Strim. Tell us, what are your hobbies?
My hobbies, definitely going and hang out in the Crown Point area. You know, this is where I'm from. This is where my family originates. So sometimes you'll catch me on the beach. You'll catch me at Up Top. I love a good movie. So I love doing movie dates with my friends, because being this busy, sometimes I don't have all the time to really connect with them. So I use these mediums as opportunities to connect with my friends, to catch up with my friends and let them know, okay, this is what's happening. I also use them as opportunity to get to know my friends better, because sometimes I'm be so busy, so much has happened in my friends' life. Sometimes I have to reintroduce myself and they have to reintroduce themselves to me. So I love a good time. I love living life. I love enjoying life. I love trying new things. So besides the professional side, that's what I like to do.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Luke, for being here with us. On behalf
behalf, rather, of all of us at the Let's Talk Tobago team, we wish you all the best in all of your endeavors.
Thank you so much, Gabriela.
You're welcome. At this point, we have to take a break, but we'll be right back with more stories. Stay with us. Villa Orizia is a spacious, well-kept modern villa located in the highly coveted Bonacord development of Tobago. This stunning property boasts 4 large bedrooms, each with its own lavish ensuite bathroom, providing an unparalleled level of comfort and privacy for guests. The kitchen is fully equipped with appliances and everything you need to prepare delicious meals for your family and friends. The outdoor area of Villa Orizia is truly magnificent, featuring a sparkling swimming pool surrounded by comfortable lounges and a shaded terrace area. This is the perfect place to relax and soak up the sun or enjoy a refreshing dip in the pool. Overall, Villa Orizia is the ultimate vacation villa, offering the perfect combination of style, comfort, and privacy. Coming up next, we take you to a different side of healthcare. They certainly didn't wear scrubs or PPE. They were dressed in fancy East Indian and African-inspired outfits as the Tobago Regional Health Authority appreciated its hardworking staff. Take a look at this story from Amadara Mills.
More than 100 TRHA workers were awarded for their provision of exceptional quality care in our health sector. Celebrating our heritage, harnessing the power of our purpose was the theme. Staff members got recognition in areas such as leadership, pandemic superheroes, and long service.
We want to take a moment on behalf of the board to express our deep appreciation for the dedicated individuals who form the backbone of our health institution on the island of Tobago. These professionals, nurses, support staff, all of these people working as one unit come together to deliver in no small measure the healthcare for an entire island, an entire people.
I know the last couple of years have been very difficult. COVID reminded us that everything that we thought we knew was not necessarily true, and it could have been taken away just like that. But you were one of the few entities that did not have the luxury of being home and being afraid and staying away from it all. We asked you to run head first into the madness. And you did it. You did it. You did it. You did it. And for that, this island is eternally thankful.
I know so many of you have made your professions lifetime professions. So many of you, after hours, offer care, private care to citizens as well. And so many of you get creative in finding solutions for the medical problems we have on the island. As a small island, we depend on you to insulate us from the outside world. We depend on you to ensure that we keep healthy and safe. And so I hope that we find a way to get the rest of Tobago to listen to you all, me included.
TRHA's Staff Recognition and Quality Awards ceremony took place at the Show Park Complex. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Think food, think water, think life, think health. Guessed it yet? World Food Day 2023 is here, and the Show Park Food Hub was the place to be for the media launch. We have more from Patricia Nicholson Richards in this story.
The Charlottesville Heritage performers as they danced the cocoa at the World Food Day media launch.
As we herald the World Food Day activities in Tobago, we hope to better educate and empower persons interested and involved in food production. We intend to make the division and its myriad services more visible and accessible and strengthen partnerships for agriculture revitalization. Through our World Food Day activities, we will facilitate increased stakeholder engagement and provide promotion opportunities for food producers and processors.
The two-day exhibition is scheduled for 18th to 19th October, but there are a number of events leading up to the exhibitions and afterwards.
There will be a World Food Day spoken word and poetry competition for schools. There'll be the Blue Ribbon Livestock competition, of course. A new housing design competition for livestock, where farmers will be asked to submit designs for houses, and the houses should be innovative, including new technology and specifically designed for the tropical environment. We'll also have a woman and junior farmer livestock video essay competition, where farmers in those categories, 18 to 30-year-old or women farmers, describe the challenges that they've had in choosing livestock agriculture, how they overcame those challenges, and why they have the passion for livestock agriculture.
The calendar of events also includes the inaugural Tobago Lamb Festival, a farmers' green market to be held in Tobago East and West, a horticulture show, and a 4-H gardening competition. Deputy Chief Secretary Dr. Faith B. Israel wants Tobagonians to think about the resources we have and what we can produce with them.
For us to really be food secure, we need to rethink how we treat with food, how we treat with water, how we treat with the chemicals that are available to us, how we treat with the production, as in the agri-processing of the food, how we treat with all of that.
This year's World Food Day theme is Water is Life, Water is Food, Leave No One Behind. Mark your calendars and be sure to attend as many events as you can. I'm Patricia Nicholson-Richards for Let's Talk Tobago.
And that's how we end this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago. Thank you so much for joining us as always. On behalf of all of us at the Department of Information, do have a safe, productive and a fantastic week. Remember to follow us on all of our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'm Davia Chambers and we'll see you again next week.
Him alone and my sustenance. Him and my sustenance. Yes, him and my sustenance. Him and my sustenance. Yes, him and my sustenance. Him and me. Yo, me said Jesus Christ, you are my sustenance. You're more than enough, you're well sufficient. So me no praise you and no false pretense. So just walk with me and talk with me. You can't tread alone. The road of life, it is a rocky road, yo. Sometimes you have to carry heavy load. So just walk with me and talk with me. You are my sustenance. You're more than enough, you're well sufficient. So me no praise you and no false pretense. So just walk with me and talk with me. You can't tread alone. The road of life, it is a rocky road, yo. And sometimes you have to carry heavy load. So just walk with me and talk with me alone. Lord, no leave me alone. No leave me alone, Lord. Lord, no leave me alone. No leave me alone. Lord, no leave me alone. No leave me alone, Lord. Lord, no leave me alone. You give me life this morning, thank you, Jah. Well, I never live this life without Jah, oh, Jah. My deliverer, my defender. Now the middle of this time, you are my protector. I reflect and I remember when friends forsake me, have no paper. When Strength believe me turn to vapor. Your friend a stick it closer than a brother. Me said Jesus Christ, you are my sustenance. Your man and enough, you're well sufficient. So me not praise you and not false pretense. Say just walk with me and talk with me. We can't shut alone. The road of life, it is a rocky road. Your own. Sometimes you have to carry heavy load. So just walk with me and talk with me. You are my sustenance. You're more than enough, you're well sufficient. So me not praise you and not false pretense. So just walk with me and talk with me. We can't shut alone. The road of life, it is a rocky road. Yo. Sometimes you have to carry heavy load. So just walk with me. Say me never see the righteous forsaken. God them a walk with me and talk with me. Sometimes my feet may be shaken, but him a walk with me and talk with me. Them was away far and broken, but him a walk with me and talk with me. It don't matter what the enemy has spoken, God him a walk with me. Him alone a me sustenance. Him a me sustenance. Yes, him a me sustenance. Him a me. Yo, me say Jesus Christ, you are me sustenance. You're more than enough, you're well sufficient. So me not praise you and not false pretense. So just walk with me and talk with me. We can't shut alone. The road of life, it is a rocky road. Yo. And sometimes you have to carry heavy load. So just walk with me and talk with me. You are my sustenance. You're more than enough, you're well sufficient. So me not praise you and not false pretense. So just walk with me and talk with me. We can't shut alone. The road of life, it is a rocky road. Sometimes you have to carry heavy load. So just walk with me and talk with me alone. Lord, no leave me alone. No leave me alone, Lord. Lord, no leave me alone.
From place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. I am Adana Kumbi, and I will be taking you through this morning's show. Today, we're so happy that you are joining us here on Amplia 102 on the Tobago Updates television. And we are going to go straight into the news in 90 seconds with Bianna Brebner.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Thank you, Adana. I am Bianna Brebner, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Thursday, 28 September 2023. The primary focus was on Tobago's quest for autonomy during Her Excellency Christine Kangaloo first address to the Tobago House of Assembly. Kangaloo expressed her intent to address the issue directly in Tobago, speaking to the people of Tobago within the Assembly. During her address, she openly voiced her endorsement of Tobago's pursuit for self-governance. She added attempts to accomplish self-governance have been noted, but more needs to be done. Mount Irving Bay Resort in Tobago achieved recognition by winning the Lux Life 2023 Resort and Retreats Award during the 30th World Travel Awards and the America's Gala Ceremony 2023 at Sandal, St. Lucia. The resort has been collaborating with Leve Global, a strategic and business transformation consultancy led by Dr. Poon, a travel and tourism strategist originally from Trinidad. General Manager of Mount Irving Bay Resort, Alpha Lord, expressed elation over this accomplishment, emphasizing the sustainability is a central commitment for the resort, aligning seamlessly with the company's vision for responsible growth. And finally, Castara Village in Tobago is gaining global recognition as a participant in the United Nations World Tourism Organization's Best Tourism Village Upgrade Program. Delegates Natasha Legal Roberts, Vice President of the Castara Tourism Development Association, and Junior Kwashi, President of the Castara Fisherfolk Association, proudly represented their village alongside counterparts from Italy's Best Tourism Villages, promoting Tobago Beyond brand. Their recent trip to Italy, hosted by the municipality of San Genesio and the United Nations World Tourism Organization, marked a significant opportunity for global recognition and collaboration for Castara and Tobago. And that concludes your news in 90 seconds.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
Thank you, Biana, for our news in 90 seconds. And of course, we heard the President Kangaloo making her first visit to Tobago in the capacity of president. What's happening on the show today? Well, let me tell you. Today we are speaking with Assemblyman Joel Sampson. We know they recently concluded a town hall meeting there in Canaan, Bonaccord, Crown Point District. So we'll be speaking to him a little bit about that. We also speak to Dr. Akila Smith. She is a psychotherapist with the TRHA, and we're celebrating Physiotherapy Month, right? So that's physiotherapy, not psychotherapy. Sorry, my fault there. And we also speak with Susan Gooding Liebert. She is a published author, so we'll be speaking to her about her fundraising book launch. That is what our program is looking like today. But in the meantime, we are going to go straight into the birthday celebrations. And this segment is sponsored by KFC.
This is your birthday shoutouts on Tobago Updates, sponsored by KFC.
Right, and we are celebrating today. Happy birthday is going out to you, Miss Roneska Benjamin. Roneska Benjamin, happy birthday to you from all of us here at the Tobago Updates Television. Happy birthday to you. And we also have Evelyn Charles Kennedy. Today is your birthday, and we wish you a very happy and special birthday today. May God bless you richly. And of course, our very own Miss Ali. Happy birthday to a beautiful lady. We love you here at Tobago Updates. We appreciate you, and we want to send happy birthday shout-outs to you, shouting from the rooftop. Happy birthday to all our celebrants, and we pray God's richest blessings to you all.
Birthday shoutouts on Tobago Updates, sponsored by KFC.
From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger.
The only one I see is you.
Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
For all of you who are now joining us, this is the morning show on Tobago Updates, and I am Adana Kambi. I'll be taking you through our program today. But of course, we are about to head on over into Tobago in Focus. Stay with us.
issue of land tenure preventing persons involved in agriculture to access incentives from the Department of Agriculture has been addressed. Registration and Incentive Officer in the Department of Agriculture, Tobago House of Assembly, Giselle Davis, explains.
Prior, we focused on that land ownership where you must have been the registered owner of the property. It was eased a number of years ago where we now look at land tenure. Land tenure meaning that for me, for example, I might be an owner of a parcel of land and you might be interested or you might be a relative to me in farming. So what we can do is do an agreement, a lease agreement, or I can give you an affidavit. However, whatever land tenure document the person intends on using must be a legal binding document. And also, I must show that I have the rights to give you permission to occupy the parcel of land. Even though I am not the registered owner, I might be the person in charge of and paying taxes on behalf of same.
These agricultural incentives are aimed at encouraging persons to get involved in agriculture, to boost productivity, to encourage good agricultural practices, and to attract new persons to the sector.
Equipment and machinery, water for agriculture, we have land preparation, there are incentives for agro-processors to bring your holding up to HACCP readiness. We have for marketing as well. So each incentive, and I must mention that there are also incentives for vehicles as well.
This program is national, and all qualified persons are encouraged to take advantage of the investment. Farmers must be registered with the Department of Agriculture and includes beekeepers, agro-processors, farmers, cooperatives, and organizations.
So each incentive, coming back to that, carries its own rebate percentage. So the incentive is not a before, it's after. It's a rebate system. So the person purchases, farmers, fisher folk, beekeepers, agro-processors, and we now give back up to 50% of what they would have spent. So for example, under the equipment and machinery incentive, that will cover items like your brush cutters, your water pumps, items like those. The rebate on that is 50%, but all we would pay is $50,000.
For more information and to sign up for these incentives, visit the department at the Milshirv Administrative Complex, Shervan Road, or call 639-1966, extension 3585 or 3586. The Department of Agriculture is part of the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment, and Sustainable Development.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates. I am Adana Combi, and of course, we are going into conversations with Assemblyman Joel Sampson, famously known as Nutsi, and he's the area representative for Canaan, Bonaccord, and Crown Point. They recently concluded a town hall meeting where discussions were had, and so we're going to have some talks about what came out of that meeting. Good morning, Mr. Sampson, and welcome.
Good morning, good morning. How are you this morning?
I am well, thanks, and yourself?
I'm fine, I'm fine.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Right. So we want to talk a little bit about the recently concluded town hall meeting that was held, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, in your area, and some of the discussions that came out of it. I mean, we heard your constituents, or rather the population in your area, really lauding praises on you for the work that you have been doing in the area. And we've seen a lot of things happening there, but also coming out of the town hall meeting with things that were still left undone, things still to be done, and some ideas for improvement in the area in general and Tobago on the wider spectrum. So tell us a little bit about your feelings coming out of that meeting, and what are your recommendations and the way forward as we progress together.
Right, so good morning again. My feelings coming out of the meeting, my spirits are very high at the moment. We had a lot of discourse, meaningful discourse at this meeting. We know there are always infrastructural challenges, but we have been getting them done bit by bit. We have been working together along with the residents, you know, and they have come out and they have given ideas, and most of these ideas we have intended to implement. But the happy thing about it is that persons are recommending and giving up their service, willing to give up their service free to assist in whatever way we can to mitigate some of the flooding issues we have in the area. Persons are willing to give up their service to assist in the agriculture sector, in the tourism sector. So this is a good thing because, you know, most times at these town hall meetings, persons may come and complain about early morning jobs, about opportunities. But it was good to see that persons came out and had ideas that we can implement in moving forward and in assisting the community and making it a better place and more comfortable place to live.
Yes, and one thing I know about people from Canaan Bonaccord, because I had a little stint there, is that the togetherness, right, that they really do hold one head, right? As you mentioned, the infrastructural issues, the flooding in particular, especially on that stretch there, right in front of the Milford Court area, stretch from about just after the pan tent going down there. You know, there could be rainfall for like 30 seconds. And there's a big flood there, and it's almost impassable. So that is something that needs immediate attention. And I don't know what the plans are to get that up and running so that we could alleviate that water. We saw Miss Wills sharing a video of some, you know, flooding in her area. You know, so these are things that really need immediate attention. And this is for the improved standard of living for people in that area and people who access services that are on that part of the island, right? So these are the things we really want to pay attention to. What I want to talk to as well is the displacement of persons with the land issue, because for the construction of the airport, which of course is definitely needed and required at this time as we expand our services here in Tobago. A lot of them were talking about, I know in the meeting they mentioned that the parcels are now $15 per square foot. And we're talking about persons who paid more prior to this arrangement. And what now is the arrangement for those persons and the ones who are still to pay? I know that was a major concern.
Yeah, well, as the Chief Secretary have indicated about the $15 a square foot, that's for the persons that would have been displaced last, that we would have come in and met in a situation, and the persons who would have gone before, unfortunately, some of them who have paid, is a situation that we can't really see how we will treat it at the moment. It's something we'll have to bring before the Exec Council. But in the interim, there are some persons who would have received peppercorn rate before that can't afford to build back a home. You would have heard the chief mention about how we would do some lease to own houses, so it will make it comfortable and make the movement a bit more seamless, which is something that should have been done prior to all of this. So we continue to work with the residents, we continue to meet with them and continue to get ideas from them as how we can go forward in making the last transition a bit seamless. In some cases we have even assisted with rent for some of these persons, because as all of Trinidad and Tobago know, the worldwide knows, that the money these persons received was not sufficient. So to pay a rent and to buy land and to rebuild, it's very difficult. So with this THA administration, which is very caring, we are working alongside with the residents to ensure that they move seamlessly to these new areas. We will try to ensure that all the infrastructural challenges that we face will be sorted out in the shortest period possible, hoping in the first quarter of the new period, so that these persons will have some place to rest their heads comfortably at night.
Additionally, as you're speaking about that, I know the Chief Secretary spoke about the budget that is to be read in the next week, rather, and he mentioned that he has some insight that the budgetary allocation for Tobago might be less than last year. And with all these support that we want to give, how does that affect the distribution of funds to facilitate this type of support?
Well, as you would have mentioned also, in terms of the lease ones whom we are intending on doing, these will be done as design, finance, and bill. So the contractor will get the work done, and then he will be paid incremental for a period, not as straight, or we don't have to facilitate a large amount out of that budget to pay for such. On the other hand, would pay back for these homes. They would pay at a rate that is comfortable and over a tenure of time. So there wouldn't be much of a strain on the budget where this is concerned.
Right, so there's cooperation between the THA, the contractors, and, of course, the residents who are displaced, which will help them to come back to a proper standard of living, some sort of comfort, so that they can resume their normal lives. Another area I want to talk about that we always talk about in Tobago, we know that Tobago is a beautiful place. We boast about tourism, but one of our challenges has always been our customer service. And during the town hall meeting, I know the Chief Secretary, again, he spoke at length about our customer service. He spoke about the same type of, he made reference to hosting harvest in your home, to carrying that same kind of spirit to your shop, to your parlor, to whatever service or good that you offer. And we've been hearing this time and time again, year in, year out. But I'm wondering, is there anything that is put in place or that is going to be implemented to bring the certain standard of customer service? Is there going to be a standardized customer service that should be rolled out in Tobago so that all providers, they treat guests with that same level, whether it's goods or services? Because at the end of the day, your product could be the best on the planet, but if your service is poor, then you stand a risk of losing your customer or your client. So is there anything in consideration rather for training or enhancing our customer service rollout?
Well, the conversation of customer service programs, we have had that conversation. There are certain things we have to put in place so we can implement it and get the business owners, the MDs, to attend these training sessions. We're hoping that these will be rolled out pretty soon, because as the actually says, when you come in via the airplane, it's the first place that's the settings, how you deal with persons, how you treat with them upon arrival, will leave an impression on them. So if it's an impression they get, their stay will be good. If it's a bad impression, that's what they will think of the place. So it's something that we have to look into seriously, especially in the Crown Point area, because as you know, we are like the tourism hub here. We are booming with businesses and all sorts of activities. So once that customer service improves, I think the tourism on the island would improve on our whole.
Yes, and I totally agree. And I will not isolate it just to Crown Point only. I mean, that's where it starts when the tourists come in. But also for our domestic customer service as well is something we need to look into for island-wide. Is there anything you want to say as we wrap this interview this morning on the outcome of the town hall meeting? Any recommendations you want to make? Any commendations you want to make in relation to how the meeting went and your feelings and the way forward?
So I just want to say, firstly, thankful for the Almighty God for the opportunity to represent persons in my area and persons in Tobago on a whole. I'm appreciative of the persons that came out to the town hall meeting and shared their ideas, and I'm thankful for the persons that want to come on board and assist, because going forward, for us to make this the greatest little island on the planet, it has to be a holistic effort. It cannot just be the THA, but the whole of Tobago on board and for us to work together. So I do look forward to working continually with these people in my district and on the whole of Tobago as we go forward. I just want to say thanks to the team that I am a part of for their support, their continued support. It gives me that strength from day to day. And I just say thankful to the people of the electoral district of Bon Accord, Crown Point again, for installing that confidence in me as we go forward and work to make this place the greatest little island on the planet.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sampson. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Assemblyman Joel Sampson, area representative for Canaan Bon Accord, Crown Point, on the recently concluded town hall meeting. No man is an island, so he had to give thanks to his team who supports him and help him to carry the vision through. We are going to go to a break, and when we return, we'll be speaking with Dr. Akila Smith. But in the meantime, we invite you to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be back.
Tobago, get ready to venture into the unknown. Mighty Crush Entertainment presents Dream the Phantasm. Join Join us on September 30th, 2023 from 11 p.m. to experience your newest reality at the Shore Park Complex, Tobago. And the best part, you can get your tickets now at Lust Restaurant and Lounge, Gulf City Lowlands, Jade Monkey Bar, Pablo's Supermarket, Barcode, Spade, Stumpy Complex Canaan, or online at etix.com and islandetickets.com. Mighty Crush Hotline 755-7874 on September 30th at the Shore Park Complex, Tobago. Dream the Phantasm.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates. I am Adana Combi, and of course it is a beautiful Thursday morning here on the island of Tobago. It is 7:23 a.m. So if you are making your way to work or to school, you still have time to get there. Be safe on the nation's roads. Right in studio with us, we have Dr. Akila Smith, and we are talking about Physiotherapy Month. We're celebrating the month of physiotherapy here in Trinidad and Tobago, and she's a physiotherapist, one at the Tobago Regional Health Authority. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Right, it's a pleasure to have you here. So we want to know, what exactly is physiotherapy?
Sure. Physiotherapy is really a healthcare profession that focuses on helping persons to reduce pain, to manage and restore their movement and physical function, especially when it's affected by an injury, a disease, a condition, or even disability. So we are really here as physiotherapists to help to promote movement and to restore persons' movement abilities.
Okay, and we are in the month of physiotherapy, celebrating physiotherapy. So what are some of the activities or some of the things that you have been doing this month, or you plan to do to celebrate or to commemorate this month?
Sure. So I must start to say that World Physiotherapy Day is celebrated on September the 8th, and it's really the opportunity for physiotherapists worldwide to shed some light on raising awareness and the critical role that they play in helping persons to move, to remain well, and to be independent. So this month, the Tobago Regional Health Authority would be having a symposium, and that would be tomorrow, Friday, the 29th of September. And this is our opportunity to shed some light on the global topic of arthritis and how it affects persons, and our role as physiotherapy in managing and helping persons to manage arthritis. As we understand that arthritis can be something very difficult sometimes to deal with, especially the symptoms, and it's not, a single condition, but engaging and informing the public about what it is, empowering them to understand how to manage it, is where we are going with this event.
I know a lot of people, especially in this part of the world where we live, arthritis is something that they experience a lot, and sometimes people suffer in silence, and primarily because they don't know that support is there for them. So I think this is a very beautiful initiative, and I do hope that people will come out, that people will, participate in the event. They will come and they will get the information that will be shared and the how-tos. So how does one access services of a physiotherapist through the TRHA?
All right. So through the TRHA, once you have a concern or a problem related to pain or movement dysfunction, you must see a medical doctor within any one of the TRHA service facilities, whether it's your local health center or the general hospital. It's a referral-based system. So the doctor will provide a referral to you, and so you can bring that referral to the physiotherapy department, either located at Scarborough Health Center or Scarborough General Hospital, where you would obtain an appointment. So it's accessible through the referral of a medical doctor within any one of the TRHA facilities.
So like if you sustain an injury to any one of your limbs or anything like that, you see your doctor, then they refer you to the physiotherapist where you do rehabilitation, is what I assume.
That's right.
To get you back to a good standard of living.
That's right.
And I know you spoke about arthritis being the theme or the focus this year. What are some of the other things people can access the services for in terms of rehabilitation? I know you mentioned injuries, but what else can people look to a physiotherapist for help and support with?
So I must highlight that most times, persons would access our services when they have an injury. But it's, as physiotherapists, it's our professional duty and social responsibility to educate, to promote our profession, promote healthy lifestyle habits and prevention. And so some of these services outside of, accessing because of an injury is education, one. And there are other aspects of physiotherapy because we treat people throughout their lifespan. So the very young, pediatric physiotherapy, children who may have problems moving and who have developmental delays. It may be a grandmother who would have had a stroke, and she has to be treated and go through a series of rehabilitative sessions with us. Wound care is also a part of physiotherapy, women's health. So there are a number of different services, all geared towards helping persons to manage pain and to move and maintain good movement function.
You said wound care. If I sustain a wound, how does physiotherapy help me? Explain that to me a little bit more. I'm very interested in that.
All right, just to divert a little bit. So wound care is a specialist area in physiotherapy. So, you have to do additional studies for that. And oftentimes persons who have non-communicable diseases like diabetes, they are easily they sustain wounds very easily, and so they have difficulty with healing. And so it's very integral that a wound care specialist assists in managing the wound, cleaning the wound, and taking care of you on a regular basis. So that's one of the specialty areas in physiotherapy.
Oh, I would not have thought of that as physiotherapy at all. So the program is on tomorrow afternoon?
Tomorrow morning.
Okay.
It's going to be held at the Anne Mitchell Gift Auditorium at the Scarborough Library, starting at 9:30 to 2:30. Registration starts at 9 a.m. So this is open to the general public. And the information that is shared is not only from a management perspective related to physiotherapy only, but also medical management, because we are a part of the multidisciplinary team. And so it's very critical for us to work along with doctors, occupational therapists, dietitians, and so on. So persons can come and be assured that they are going to get information from licensed and qualified medical professionals in managing the symptoms associated with arthritis, because this is a chronic condition. And so empowering persons to be able to understand what the condition is about and how to manage their pain is critical towards helping them with self-management.
And the self-esteem also, because when you're in constant pain, sometimes you kind of question, when am I going to get rid of this pain? When will I be restored to full mobility and full use of my limbs and my,
Yes.
So I think it's a very good thing. And how is it open to the general public?
It is open to the general public. And so we're asking persons to come out early as 9 o'clock to register. We are expecting to have about 200 persons, I believe, that can hold in the auditorium. So once you are there, you register. We also have, in the afternoon time, consultations where you are able to speak one-on-one with the physiotherapist. Say, for example, you want to get more answers related to the condition and what your symptom profile is. We can guide you. It's a first come, first serve. It's limited spaces, so we are asking persons to
Don't
come
all
out,
rush at once.
register, and we will take care of you.
Right. That is excellent. That is excellent that you provide that as well. For someone who's listening this morning, right, and it's the first time they're hearing about physiotherapy, especially the younger ones who are trying to find career paths. How does one become, a physiotherapist? What are the steps you have to take? What is the channel you have to go through? How do we do this?
Wonderful. The requirements vary from country to country, but I'll stick to Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, upon completion of your CXC certification, most times if you are looking towards staying within the Caribbean, the only university is located in Jamaica, and that's the University of the West Indies Mona campus, where you can do physiotherapy at a bachelor's degree level and then move on to a master's degree. So it is a degree profession of 3 to 4 years. And once you have completed your studies, you apply and you are accepted into the program. When upon completion, you have to do an internship. An internship within the country once it's stipulated, and of course be licensed with the Physiotherapist Board of Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
So that's the part you want to take. Sciences, you do your sciences, you pass your A-levels and O-levels, you apply to the university, and once you're successfully on the road to being a physiotherapist.
I love it. I love to hear it. And how has your journey been? You sound so passionate about this career path. How has your journey been, and how do you feel after helping your clients to recover and to be rehabilitated to a better level of health?
Okay, I'll be a little bit biased here because with physiotherapy, it's quite a rewarding profession, and it has been very fulfilling to me being an athlete, somebody in sport who have sustained injuries in the past, and so it was very fascinating to know that I can return to the sport that I love and helping persons to return to the simple things that make them happy, going to the beach, playing with the grandchildren. It's very integral to play a role in that regard because movement is very important, and not only the physical benefits are there, but mentally helping them to feel like they are doing things that are meaningful to them and just uplifting their spirit. It's really a good thing to do and interact with persons in that way.
I'm sure it is. And this can affect anybody because you spoke about athletes, you spoke about the grandparents, you spoke about so many different, and earlier in your conversation, you spoke about infants who might have mobility challenges. So physiotherapy literally is very important in our daily lives because at the end of the day, anyone could sustain any measure of injury, anyone could fall ill, anyone could need to be restored to good health. So I commend you very much for taking seeing the importance in this field and for, offering yourself to be a member of this prestigious industry as a provider, a practitioner to people in your society and stuff like that. And I just want to encourage people to come out tomorrow because I think that it will be of great benefit to them, as you mentioned, managing their health and managing issues that would arise. And for me, one of the most important things or the most commendable things is the one-on-one session, right? How many persons, I know you said it's limited or first come, first served, but how many persons do you think you'll be able to facilitate, or how long will you be there in the afternoon? Because the program ends at 2:30, you said, and then after that is when you have the one-on-ones. How long in the evening do you think you'll be there, or how many persons do you think you can accommodate?
All right, so actually to correct that, the session ends at 2:30. So in the morning, they would have a series of lectures, and following that at around 1 o'clock, that's when the consultations will start. So you see the limited time that we have to work with. But of course, myself and other physiotherapists, qualified physiotherapists, will be there to speak to as many persons as possible. We are trying our best to facilitate as many persons. So I anticipate that, once we have a good turnout, which I know we would, it would go smoothly. Yeah?
I believe that there will be a good turnout as well, especially to our viewers who listen to us on a regular, and they're picking up the information and they will share, of course, the information with those who they care for and love. Because I know that in our communities, there are lots of people who we know and who we see are immobile or restricted in their movements because they just don't have the support. And even if they can't make it to the session tomorrow, someone can go on their behalf, gather the information, and help them in that kind of way to get back to a good level of movement. Is there anything else that you want to share with us this morning in relation either to physiotherapy, getting into the field, the session tomorrow, or any aspect at all of physiotherapy that you want to share with us?
I just want to encourage the general public that you don't have to live with arthritis in silence. It is a chronic condition, and so management is critical. As physiotherapists, we are part of the multidisciplinary team that work along with other healthcare professionals to help you to meet to your goals. And those goals may be simple. If it's to, go to the beach, if it's to play with the grandchildren, be able to walk from one street to the next in your village. We are here to help you. And pain, most times persons are afraid to move because they think it's going to be more painful. But movement is critical, because if you don't move and you remain sedentary, it can cause more lifestyle conditions and diseases. So the encouragement is to come out, gather the information so you are empowered to self-manage and take care of yourself.
So well put. Thank you so much, Dr. Akila Smith. She is a physiotherapist in the Tobago Regional Health Authority. And of course, the session is on tomorrow morning. So we're asking you to come out in your numbers and support. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to a quick break. And we are asking you to stay with us and also to share the live. Share the live. Share the live. We'll be back.
Bad girl from Roxborough, Tobago, body fuego in your day clothes, I rate you. Grew up around good vibes and incense. Grew up in hard times that intense. Shut it as you're reaching at the dance. Use the topic as you're reaching at the dance. My girl, go and drop it as you're reaching at the dance. Making use of your talents when you balance back on the duns. Yes, yes. I know, baby. You want a man who take you serious. Not just beat and leave. You're fed up on the streets. Yes, yes, I know, baby. You want a man who take you serious.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Update. I am Adana Kombi, and I thank you guys so much for staying with us this morning. We are speaking with Susan Gooding-Liebert. She is a published author and a financial literacy empowerment advocate, right? With more than 3 decades of experience in the world of finance and education, she has dedicated her career to helping individuals and communities achieve financial independence and security. And this morning we are talking about a book that she has published and the book launch, which is a fundraising event. So welcome to the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
Right, and we are so happy to have you, and we're talking about this book that you have published, and the fact that there's a fundraising event coming up very soon. So tell us a little bit about it.
Absolutely. So we're launching 2 books, Sue's Funny Money and Destiny Bound. And we'll be launching that in the East, Bell Garden Anglican School. So we had the session, as a matter of fact, we already had the session on Tuesday, the 26th, where we brought out school children from the Bell Garden Anglican School. We had Glamorgan Seventh-day Adventist School. We also had the Early Learning Childhood that came across to the center. We had friends, relatives that came, and it's all fundraising to go to back to the PTA of the Bell Garden Anglican School, as well as the Zion Hill Youth Club.
Right, and so you are also having a book launch fundraising event on the 28th, which is actually today. Right? So tell us a little bit about that and where it is taking place, what time, what are the expectations?
Well, originally it was set to be at the Scarborough Library. However, we went to meet with Mr. Noon, who is the librarian there, and we did the session yesterday. We were able to do it was just a reading for the children. Children from ages 3 to 10 came in, and it was during the story time. And we actually had the parents, the children. They were so engaged, so enthusiastic. I mean, granted, the book is a little older for their age group. However, we were able to talk about money and how to earn money, what to do with money. And the children were just so energetic. They knew exactly what to do. So the young age is open. Their minds are open to financial literacy. And I believe that's the age group that we should be targeting.
I was just about to ask, who is your target audience for this this particular book? And you've said it. You said the younger children, and they were very receptive. And listen, they pay attention.
They do.
They pay attention. And they will ask questions when they are uncertain. Am I right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there's one part in the book where I talk about if you are, poor, you should make friends with wealthy people. This was at the session on Tuesday. You should read about get more information about financial literacy, education, and hang around the right people, positive people who will kind of guide you. So one young man came up to me and he said, well, if I am poor, where would I find my rich friends?
Oh, that's a very good, very intelligent question. Very intelligent question.
So I offered my service and I said, I am now your friend today. So since I know about financial literacy education and I speak about it, I am your friend. Come and ask me.
Yes, these little ones, they absorb everything and they are not afraid to ask questions. So now is the perfect time to impact their lives with this type of information. So it really is about financial literacy. I suppose you're talking about managing your finances.
Managing it, how to earn it, and how to make it work for you. Growing up, we all know in the island, the Caribbean island, I came from Belgrade, was born right here in Tobago. Our parents did not know much about financial literacy education. We learned what we learned from watching them. We know how to save, I can tell you that. I think all West Indians know how to save, right? But we don't know how to make our money work for us. So this book is an early start to say, understand interest, understand there's taxes, understand there's inflation, understand what we need to do with our money so that we can grow our money. I work hard for my money. And I want my money to work much harder for me, 3 times, 4 times. We know how to spend it, right? We definitely know how to spend it.
Yes, we do.
But do we know how to make it work for us so that we can have a great future?
It's very important, and money is a very touchy subject sometimes because, as you said, the poor person having a rich friend, it's very important really to link yourself to somebody who is in a better position than you are, who can help you and to motivate you as well. Absolutely. And we see societies destroyed because of lack of money. We see criminal activities, we see people stealing, we see people, they wanting to have something that somebody else has, and because they don't have the money to get it or how to get the money, then they engage in criminal acts. And of course, if they had the education from an early age, that will reduce that situation.
And the younger we are, because money works over time. It doesn't work overnight. And any get-rich scheme is not going to make you wealthy or make you financially independent. So the young mind, starting now and understanding how it works, is so, so important. And I thrive, and I'm open to make sure that each of the young minds, because we did not get that education. So I am open to make sure I provide that education to the younger generation.
Right, of course. And I know you said the launch was to have taken place today. Is something still happening today? Because I know you said you had the session yesterday afternoon.
Yes.
Is something still taking place?
Something still is taking place. We are going back up to the east, and we are going to the Dallaford RC School, where I will be then doing that, doing another launch and reading to the children.
Okay, and will books be available for purchase while you are?
Absolutely. The books are all available on Amazon. Also, I do have a contact right here in Trinidad and Tobago, and the number is 680-0689, where you can reach out to her and she will be able to get copies of the book for you.
Okay, awesome. Absolutely awesome. And when you read to the children, do they read as well, or is it that you just read to them and then they have conversations after they ask questions?
So I read to them. I read a certain part, not the whole book, and I would question them. I say, pay attention, and I would quiz them. And I'll make sure that they are paying attention, and they will regurgitate back to me. And they will ask some very, very important, why did you decide to write the book? How do I get rich? What's the formula? All of those things. They are so, children, their mind are just so active.
I know.
And curious at this point in time.
I know, because I have some young children who are around me, including my son, and they always ask about, they always want, Mommy, I want this, Mommy, I want that, Mommy, I want this. So having the conversation with where money comes from and how do you, because he always said, like, if they say, I want something, but I have money in my piggy bank so I could buy it. Well, when you use the money in your piggy bank, then there's no more in there.
Correct.
How do you get it back?
How do you get it back? And we are a society that live on instant gratification. We see it and we want it right now. But how are we going to delay that gratification? Instead of getting this small little toy, how are we going to delay the gratification to get the much bigger toy and the much better toy in the future?
But this conversation needs to be had with adults as well.
Absolutely.
Because we are the worst ones for instant gratification. We want to have it
now. I would tell you, although this book is for the younger kids, the adults have gravitated to this book and said, Miss Susan, I did not know all of this, and I find it very interesting. So they are also gravitating to this book and reading the book and getting information from it.
And I suppose the principles are the same across the board, right? The principles are the same for a child and for an adult, because the thing remains the same as money, right? So whether it's in the hands of a child or an adult, the principles remain the same.
But if we teach the kids now, they know how to handle it. They won't make the same mistakes that we made.
I know.
No, they will not. So I really do believe when we have money, we should, there are a couple of things that I think we should absolutely do. First of all, we spend our money first, but that's not the first part. We should make sure we save, right? Make sure we invest, make sure we give, because our community as a whole, they need help. And then we spend. And I would like to say it in that particular order, okay? We save, we invest, we give, and then we spend.
That is hard for some people to do. That is very difficult for some people to do.
And it's hard to break our habits. But these money that I'm talking about, these money habits within the book, and I think we all develop habits very young. And I think if they read and they start implementing and putting these habits into action, eventually, I tell you, they will become financially independent. It'll be a much different generation than what we are doing right now.
But wouldn't it be a brilliant thing to introduce financial literacy into our curriculum?
Absolutely. And I am going on record right now to say that if Trinidad and Tobago are ready to introduce financial literacy education in their curriculum, I will personally be the one to go school to school to school to educate them. And I do believe that. We have to put it into our curriculum, and we have to put it in early enough so that by the time they get to 18, 20, 30, they say, oh yeah, I know how to handle this money. My money should start working for me. From the first day I start to work, my money should be working for me.
You're right, because we went through, when we were coming up, it's not like we didn't make money.
No.
We made money, but we didn't know how to manage the money because no one taught us how to do it. And you made a reference to growing up in a village. You make your little money, but what do you do with it? You just spend it because nobody is there to educate you and to teach you and to say, this is what we do with money. So we really do need to start at the education level.
And I am right there with you.
Right.
And the sooner we do it and the earlier, because you'll be amazed. The kids do understand. They know how to spend. What do you buy with the money? Oh, I go and I buy my treats, my cookies, my toys. However, I need to tell, yes, you can buy one treat, but however, what do you do with the rest of the money? Where do you put it so that it can grow for you?
But I'm telling you, saving, investing, tell me again, it's saving.
Saving, investing, giving, because we always have to help our community. And then you spend, okay? We got to pay ourselves first, remember?
That's right.
We got to we got to think about ourselves. We work hard for our money, so we got to make sure that we have some in the future for us. Thank you.
Yes. So this is very interesting. Tell us the names of the books again.
So the name is Sue's Funny Money, and Sue's Funny Money give the young mind a map to wealth by simply applying methods of saving and understanding how money works. The second book is Destiny Bound, because you know we are all destined for success in our lives. So how do we get there? We set goals and we stick to our goal. There's one thing that I say about success, and if I may lay it out for you. S to me is setting goals. You understand that there will be challenges. C, clear your mind of self-doubt. C, clear your mind of negativity. E, embrace change. S, stay on course. And then S, show the world you can do it.
That is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. Thank you so much, Susan Gooding-Lyberg, a published author. And the book launch is taking place. It already began, and she's heading to Delaford today to talk about money, the importance of money, how to make money, how to save money, and how to make money work for you. Thank you so much for joining us here on the program today. Ladies and gentlemen, you are viewing the morning show on Tobago Updates Television, and I am Adana Kambi, your host. We are going to go to a short break. We want you to stay with us and to share the live. And also know that when we come back, we are going to the entertainment segment. So stay with us and share the live, share the live, share the live.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning, morning.
Greetings and blessings to you, and welcome to another episode of Entertainment Central on Tobago Updates. Entertainment Central is a spot for everything entertainment in Tobago. This is a Carnival edition. We want to thank you for all the support you have been giving us. Hit us up on Tobago Updates, Facebook and Instagram if you are artist, band leader, artisan and want to be featured. This is a Carnival edition, and this morning I'm here with my boy Sean, Jade Monkey Mask. What's up, Sean?
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning to the wider world. Good morning to Tobago Updates and the entire listeners and viewers.
So, Jade Monkey Mask. Give us an overview of Jade Monkey Mask.
The Jade Monkey Mask 2023 is the theme is Faces of Tobago. And the Faces of Tobago is right behind me, of course. Right? We have the lovely nylon pool.
Hi, nylon pool. Blue.
We have cocoa plantation, and we have argyle.
All right.
Right, man, that says it all.
Okay.
Faces of Tobago. All right, names that unanimous with Tobago, of course.
Before we reach there, right? How was last year? The second year of Tobago Carnival. How was last year for you?
Last year was good. I mean, for as the first one, I think like anything else, they need a little bit of tweaking, and I think this year they did some of the tweaking. A little more tweaking could be done, but last year was good. You know, it was really good. Mass was excellent. Juve was good. You know, so I'm ready for them this year again.
So how much? So last year you had Pretty Mass, I had Juve.
Correct.
This year, what will happen this year?
Pretty Mass and Juve.
Okay, tell us about the Juve. How was the participation last year? How was the people? How did people receive you?
Last year was good. Last year we had close to 500 players, masqueraders. This year, of course, we're looking to top that this year. Last year was Monkey Business. Right. This year is
which was a tribute to Blacks.
To Blacks. Yes. Right. Tribute to Blacks last year. May so rest in peace, of course. All right. But this year is about Red Monkeys. Right. And the Red Monkeys, of course, We have different sections in Red Monkeys. There's Happy Monkey, there's House Monkey, there's Borough Monkeys, there's Cocoa Monkeys. So there's a lot of different themes inside the monkey camp.
So last year, the roads were filled.
Correct.
Filled. We did a broadcast right down there. This year, everything's moving to Scarborough. How do you feel about that?
It's in Tobago. If they go to Charleville, we'll be there. You know, so it doesn't matter to me what it says in Tobago. And once we get our carnival in October in Tobago, I have no issue with where it goes, personally.
Another thing too, we did it the launch for you all about 2 or 3. You are the first band to launch.
Correct, yeah, right? June 18th.
All right, so how have persons reacted so far to your launch?
Well, from the get-go, from the first day, they started at 12 in the morning, but actually opening for, and people started registering already.
And so, what's the website again?
It's jademonkeymask.com.
So, response?
Excellent. Excellent. Jade Monkey Mask. The response has been phenomenal. It's been really, really good. I mean, I started off slow, of course, because of all the marketing that was not done prior to, from the teacher and so on. But the slack has been picked up. Persons are finally calling, you know, they are messaging us on a regular basis. And I think that goes to all the bands in Tobago.
Okay, that's good.
Everything started off slow, but now the buzz is here now.
What section is Sherry section?
Sherry section is Argyle. So we have 3 section leaders. We have Sherry Byron. We have Happy Place, which is Dan Lee, Mr. and Mrs. George. And we have Mr. Junior and his wife, Francis. Right, they're city limers.
So what happened, because I follow Sherry on Facebook, and she posted recently that her section was sold out.
Correct. No, let me correct that. Her front line is sold out.
Okay.
Also the front line for Cocoa Plantation.
Nice.
So we have 2 front lines sold right now. It's Cocoa Plantations and Argyle sold out.
So these are
front line.
So these are representations of front line customs.
Front line, and back line.
Back line.
Yeah, this is Argyle back line, Cocoa Plantation front line, and we have Nylon Pool front line, yes.
Alright, cool. So everything is set.
Everything is set.
What persons could expect for the Pretty Mass on the Carnival Sunday?
Sunday. Yeah. The vibes, you know, beautiful ladies, beautiful costumes. All inclusive setting.
All inclusive.
All right. You got your, of course, your music truck, your drinks truck, your portolet, which is your portable toilets. Vibe upon vibes, giveaways, surprises as well. Which is a surprise I can't tell you guys right now, but.
Who celebrities you had in the band last year?
A lot. If I say one, I might miss one and have problems. So we had lots.
And this year?
This year is going to be the same thing this year.
Same thing?
Yes. Yes.
What, you just sell it to the viewers, what kind of experience would they have on this carnival?
Well, Jim Monkey, you know, we are big on customer service, you know. You know, I mean, remember people spend their hard booking money. And we think once you get good customer service, persons like the fact that they have good customer service, you know, lots of vibes, and you just might enjoy yourself, you know, security, you know, so we want to make sure that people are safe as well. You know, when you cross the stage, and so we make sure that everybody's safe, everybody's in the section, and so it's just vibe upon vibes.
All right, so to the viewers out there who want to get in contact with you all to register for your band, Jade Monkey Mask, the Pretty Mask section, where do they go? Other than the website, which is jademonkeymask.com. Where else? Any contact numbers, social media, etc.
All right, so we have of course jademonkeymask.com. The phone numbers are I'll just give you the main numbers. We have all the numbers, but it's a lot of numbers. 266-6626. In Trinidad, 740-6722. All right, which is 740-6722 or 266-6626. For registration, you can go to Happy Place Bar in Camby. All right, they are in charge of the Cocoa Plantation section. We have Sherry Byron, of course, I can't remember her number of fans, which is bad. All right, and we have, of course, City Limers, his junior Francis and his wife, Crystal Francis. you could go to them. They're on the Esplanade.
Okay.
City Limers. And of course, if you can't get to any of the locations, always come to Central. Right? And you could always join here as well.
You know, before I wrap up this interview, could you speak to the collaboration you have with Ronnie McIntosh?
All right, collaboration, let me remember it correctly. Ronnie McIntosh and Caroline and Carrie are our producers of the costumes and our designers, right? J Monkey is the brand. Right? So, excellent designs were done by Ronnie and Caro, of course, by all the backline, the front line, front lines, you know, so they are our producers and our designers for now, yes.
All right, cool. All right, viewers, so this is the Pretty Mass section, and if you look behind you, this is red.
This is Happy Monkey.
Happy Monkey.
Is this show she happy?
Happy Monkey.
Right. So that's one of the sections in the Juve.
Okay.
Right. Of course, it is a working day, so we're trying to get everybody, but however, this is one of the models for Happy Monkey, which is brought to you by Happy Place, restaurant and bar.
Okay, and do you have a maximum cutoff of how much masquerades you want, or is
well, for the Pretty Mass, because everything is made by order. All right, so we have a cap. I mean, I won't tell you the cap, all right, but we have a cap. All right, so but there's a cap on the front line.
Okay, correct.
Right,
so that way
for the back line, we are going as much as we can for the back line. Last year we had, I think it was 224 last year. Of course, this year we're looking to top it as well.
All right, so right now we have been joined by the section leaders. So they have no mic. So this is, I know Sherry for sure.
Sherry, this is Argyle.
Argyle.
Which is right back here.
Argyle. So yeah.
Right.
So Argyle,
right.
Sherry. All right.
Right. And we have Cocoa Plantation, Happy Place.
Happy Place.
And City Limers, Nylon Pool.
Thanks for coming out this early morning.
Thank you for having us.
All right, okay. Sean, again, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Of course, thanks to Tobago Updates again for hosting us as and collaborating with J Monkey family, and of course the J Monkey Mass and all these sections, Happy Place, City Limers, K Fitness. Thank you guys. I mean, of course, guys, register now. Juve and Pretty Mass 266-6626, or go to jmonkeymass.com. You can register online, and don't forget Carnival Friday morning. It's all about foul.
Forget about work.
Forget about yes, true. Forget about work. That's the breakfast party. That's the kind of breakfast. That's the breakfast party.
Right. That's
well, we know what I mean, but for television
it's
purposes,
foul. FAWW.
Yeah, forget about work.
Forget about with work.
Yes.
All right. Of course, it's happening here at J Monkey Car Park in the back. Huge space. And get tickets now. Tickets. We have really good tickets, and we have a second batch coming out. Second batch. So get them now. All right.
What can we expect in the party?
It's J Monkey. What do you expect?
Tickets is that all inclusive?
Breakfast inclusive, sorry.
Breakfast inclusive.
Yeah, breakfast inclusive. Artists, of course, tons of DJs, vibes on vibes. Lots of space in the back. All right, and we may have some models as well. We don't know. We will see how it goes. But as it is right now, it's Forward the Friday, Juve the Saturday morning, and of course the Pretty Mass on the Sunday, where we're gonna light up Scarborough.
I don't know yet. This 27th to the 29th is space, you know. It's space. So everybody, please hydrate. Although we overcast this morning, but hydrate. Exercise, get fit, because that weekend is pace.
Pace, non-stop pace.
I don't know where.
Pace and vibes.
I'd hit everything, you know. Everything I'd hit, man. So again, viewers, thank you for joining us. J Monkey Mass. Hit them up. Let's have a good carnival. Let's be safe. Winter break, and we'll be right back.
when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Fair is a community event. It is actually an IDB event that they are partnering with the Tobago House of Assembly to really showcase the public and private sector offerings. There were 8 thematic areas: digital transformation, health, housing, climate change. All of these areas, we just align them to our divisions and ask to come and showcase some of the things that they're doing in their divisions based on these thematic areas.
Chair Fair is about happiness. It's about fun. In fact, the theme of Chair Fair is fun can make a difference. The aim of it is for the IDB and our partners to come to the community and speak to citizens about the work that we do, the areas in which we work, and really have engaging interactions with them so they understand the development work that we have been doing in Trinidad and Tobago. So we have supported the construction and rehabilitation of wastewater treatment plants. We have worked with blue economy entrepreneurs. We are working with TEMA to support them in the establishment of an emergency response center. We are providing capacity building and training to various divisions of the THA. And so we have a very active engagement in Tobago. We really try to make sure that Tobago is well represented in the portfolio.
The booths are very, very informative. For example, we have somebody making oils and soups locally. A lot of this stuff are local stuff. There's the Tadco booth that have a lot of local, dasheen flour, which is really, really good.
We are one of the recipients of the Blue Economy project that IDB had last year. So we were one of the entrepreneurs who won, was about 7 of us. So my project was using seaweed, that everybody thinks is so nuisance on the beach, and converting it into usable products. So I decided it's good for your hair. So I started making shampoos and conditioners from seaweed, right? Combining it with hibiscus because they complement each other.
I think it's a fantastic idea. I think it's long overdue, and something like this should continue, probably yearly or biannually or something, but we should have more of this kind of thing to expose, especially the younger people, something like this.
I think it's a great opportunity for all these small businesses, because a lot of people have businesses and we can make connections, we can help each other out, buy from each other, and get to showcase all the many talents that we have here in Tobago.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Hey, Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denasia. Let's go. It's a brand new morning.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
The primary focus was on Tobago's quest for autonomy during Her Excellency President Christine Kangaloo's first address to the Tobago House of Assembly. Kangaloo expressed her intent to address the issue directly in Tobago, speaking for the first time within the Assembly. During her address, she openly voiced her endorsement for Tobago's pursuit of self-governance. She added previous attempts to accomplish self-governance have been noted, but more needs to be done. Next up, Malthaven Bay Resort in Tobago achieved recognition by winning the Lux Life 2023 Resorts and Retreats Award during the 30th World Travel Awards and the America Gala Ceremony 2023 at Sandals in St. Lucia. The resort has been collaborating with Levy Global, a strategic business transformation consultancy led by Dr. Aliana Poon. General Manager of Malthaven Bay Resort, Arthur Lord, expressed elation over this accomplishment, emphasizing that sustainability is a central commitment for the resort, aligning seamlessly with the company's vision for responsible growth. And finally, Castara Village in Tobago is gaining global recognition as a participant in the United Nations World Tourism Organization's Best Tourism Villages Upgrade Program. Delegates Natasha Legal-Roberts, who is the Vice President of the Castara Tourism Development Association, and Junior Kwashi, who is the President of the Castara Fisher Folk Association, proudly represented their village along their counterparts from Italy's best tourism villages, promoting the Tobago Beyond brand. Their recent trip to Italy, hosted by the municipality of San Genizio and the United Nations World Tourism Organization, marked a significant opportunity for global recognition and collaboration for Castara and Tobago. And that concludes your news in 90 seconds.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we've got a lot happening in our space. And of course, we know the last month we've been dealing with the inter-island transportation issues, specifically what happened with the cargo vessel. Thankfully, the Cabo Star is back on stream now, and it's been out for just about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. And we are being joined now by the chairman of the Tobago division of the Trans-Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Mr. Curtis Williams. So good morning and welcome to you, first of all.
Morning, Candice.
And can we get an update on what's been going on with the Cabo Star? How has it been working?
Sure, definitely. Well, so far, the vessel returned to regular schedule from Tuesday, and so we were happy about that because the 2 o'clock in the morning was very, very, very difficult for most of us. The vessel had a slight problem, but they sorted out with one of the bow thrusters, and I think someone noticed a tug here in Tobago, and everyone was a bit alarmed. But the problem is sorted out. So we are back to some sense of normalcy, and so we're quite happy about that.
And how are things going in terms of getting stock back on the island, at the warehouses, and so on?
Yeah, on my visit I did over the weekend, the stock levels are coming slowly back to where they ought to be. There's still some challenges because stock is money, but they are really getting there. The hardwares are pulling a lot of materials. The vessel is over 90% capacity fill and arriving in Tobago. So they're coming along pretty good. Yeah.
All right, that's good news to hear. And also, we had last Friday, there was a meeting with the Minister of Works and Transport, along with a team from the Port Authority and so on. And I know you guys had a very, very detailed meeting, and there were some resolutions that came out of it.
Yeah, it was a fruitful meeting, and some of the resolution, and the meeting was held with the chairman of the Port Authority and management, also the chairman of NITCO and the vice chairman of NITCO and management, permanent secretary of the Ministry of Works was there, and technical staff from Port Authority as well. We invited other chambers, associations, and they were there as well. So it was a very, very fruitful meeting. Some of the outcome Definitely the new vessel, as the minister promises, after the RFP, that vessel takes about 18 months or so to get built. And
so specifically, there was a confirmed commitment from the minister for a new cargo ferry.
That's correct. That's correct. It was confirmed from him that we will have a new fast ferry. Also, he mentioned the TT Spirit. They're hoping to get it back in service by October, the end of October, around that time. That will help in any cases of downtime with the Cabo Star, which is really, really good news for us. We indicated about the upcoming Carnival and so forth. October is a very busy time for us. And they assure us that they will adjust the ceilings, double ceiling in some cases. And that's good. That's really, really, really good for us, Candice. Really, really good.
And in terms, was there any input on what's going on the air bridge? Or did that matter not come up in the meeting?
Well, the representative of Carl, I don't think the minister brought any representative of Carl. Yesterday I get in and there were flights available last night to come across the island. It's the other way around. Folks leaving Tobago after that long weekend, they had a bit of challenges. But coming up to Tobago from Trinidad, there were empty seats last night. Flights were late. So I know Carl will work with us because we spoke to them about it, and they were more than willing to work with us to see how they can do the additional flights as they go along. So it's something that we will definitely keep monitoring. Yeah.
And then what also came out of the meeting in terms of the organizing of the management of the inter-island service? Because one of the major concerns is the fact that there isn't that much Tobago voice where that inter-island link is concerned. Was there any inroads where that is concerned?
Yeah, definitely. The Port Authority will have two representatives on our committee so that we were able to have dialogue with them, which is good. The minister asked them if they can place two personnel from the Port Authority, both in Trinidad and Tobago, so that the Chamber and the Port Authority could continue that great link we have. Also, they're going to do a new ticketing system, which they're going to launch soon. Because we spoke about the ticketing system and how, well, I should say terrible about the challenges we had with it. And then also we
So if we just stick a pin on the ticketing system, what would it look like now?
Well, the thing is that you're having challenges with the ticket in the sense that sometimes you go online, there's no tickets, or you go by an agent and there's no ticket, but when you go on the port, there are tickets. And that's a problem. And so they was working on that. And this new system, it's going to be seamless. And so I'm looking forward to the new ticketing system as well.
And would it also allow for future booking? Because that was another challenge.
That's correct.
That you could probably only book like a month ahead and
That's
so on.
That's correct. Yeah, mentioned that it will allow a lot. So we're really looking forward to it and on the launch of that new ticketing system. Also, they spoke about the port is going to review its incident management plan and to treat with the incident, which is good. The chairman indicated that. And so we're looking forward to some of these doables or these promises, and we're definitely going to hold the folks accountable as they move along.
Now, from that meeting, are you confident that the minister will fulfill those promises? Because we spoke to the chief secretary yesterday, and he was like, he is pleased that those commitments are being made, but he is not so confident that, he might see it.
Well, we at the Tobago division, we definitely hold the minister and his team accountable. We will give it based on their timeline. We know things do happen, but again, we will hold them accountable. And if something do happen, just give us the feedback so we know what's going on. So, everyone is informed accordingly. And let's have some bit of transparency between the two parties. Yeah.
Was there timelines presented to you at the meeting for some of these projects mentioned, like say specifically the cargo vessel?
Yeah, definitely. Well, he mentioned by January the new cargo, well, the lease one, because the Cabo Star lease is definitely going up. And they have the opportunity to apply as well for the new RSP. But they will go out and look again. Right now it's out. Let us see what is out there to assist us in terms of the capacity, etc. The thing about the new vessel I like is that and the capacity to carry passengers as well as cabins and vehicles. That's what they're looking at in the new vessel. So the RFP for the new vessel will be out soon, and I'm really, really happy to see that. And again, we will hold folks accountable for same. Definitely.
Okay, great. And now, when coming after the meeting, how does your membership feel?
Well, from both my membership and the other associations around, they were all delighted on a breath of fresh air. And it was really, really, warm and welcome. I was really moved by it and the deliverables. So again, we will hold the Port Authority, and even in the tourism season, remember when the cruise ship in Port of Spain, the vessel can't, but all of that has been sorted out. They're working on a plan with it because the Port of Spain harbor dredged already, and now they're going to work on that. So they're going to definitely have some trials with the Cabo Star on the other side, not by the cruise ship complex, and let's see how that works, right? So we don't have that issue when there's a cruise ship there and we can't get the vessel to sail and all that.
And then what about for Tobago? Because I know sometimes there are challenges when there's a cruise ship in port here, even in Tobago. Was there any discussion where that's concerned? Or?
Well, I think the whole idea is to manage the plan of the cruise ship. So if the cruise ship, most of the times the cruise ship goes to sea at night, and that's the time when the Cabo Star comes in. So we shouldn't have a challenge there, right? So we're working on it. Let's see, work in progress to ensure that all runs smooth accordingly. Yeah.
Now, and then were you able to actually tabulate in final figures what losses were incurred during that 3 weeks, almost a month period where the Cabo Star was down?
Well, we from one sector, food and beverage, we got between $7 to $10 million, right? The other sectors need to bring in their information so that we can tabulate, definitely calculate, the kind of losses incurred around that period. It wasn't a nice time for anyone. No. And we're hoping that in October here, that our visitors, our domestic visitors, could really come and double up some of the numbers. So we sell some more beers, we sell some more food during October, because it's going to be a bumper October. I see the build-up for the Tobago Carnival and the Blue Food. It's tremendous. So we're looking forward to that bumper time in October. And we encourage all our friends across in Trinidad, please, Tobago is open and ready for business. Please come across and enjoy. It will be real fun.
So is it that there is that interest there? Do we have confirmations in Tobago for all of these things to be able to attract people? Because I know we have quite a lot of events. Of course, Carnival at the heart of it. But, some people are saying it's perhaps a little too quiet. We're not sure what's happening.
No, well, Candice, from my last check with the villas, we checked with most of the villas, and they're like 95% booked already for Carnival. So you really can't get a villa anymore. Mm-hmm. So now we wanted to look at other spaces, guest houses, bread and breakfast, maybe hotels. But the villas, I should say fully booked. So you can't get any villa. So we're looking good. We need to look positive and ensure that our visitors are safe, because that's one of the biggest challenge we may have is the safety of our visitors. So we ask upon the law enforcement to make sure they are out in their numbers, ensuring that our guests are safe.
Was the matter about scanners at the port raised? Because I know that's been something that's been in the conversation for some years, and the scanners are not, at least not working at the port as they were supposed to be. And I think there was might be wrong, but I think they were supposed to have some new ones come in and so on. Any updates for that concern?
We didn't get any update from the minister, but I'm looking forward in the budget speech on Monday to see if there's anything talking about scanners for the port. And I knew there was some talks bantering around in Port of Spain about upgrading the scanners and stuff like that. We want them to continue with the dogs, the law enforcement, continue doing the searches with the K9. That was good, positive, and just up the ante on the island, because we want it to be crime-free. We want this October to be crime-free. Mm-hmm. And if we can push for that, if the ACP Hazel and his team could push for October crime-free, that would be really, really, really great for us. It sends a good message.
And how has the collaboration been with the police in Tobago for the last few months? Have you been, in terms of the protection of the business community and so on?
Well, we have a very, very cordial relationship with the TTPS. There always room for improvement, and we look forward to that opportunity when they can improve. I know they have a bit of challenges with manpower and vehicles, and I hope that something is being done sooner or later. I wish that we will see what happens out of the budget, but the Minister of National Security, in his quest, should visit Tobago. I don't think he has visited Tobago since.
No, I think it's been quite a long time since he was here.
Right. I need him to visit Tobago so that he can look at all the different agencies on island and see the kind of accommodation and the challenges they have.
Especially the Coast Guard.
Especially the Coast Guard, no accommodation and all that good stuff. The fire service, challenges with the tenders. The police service, again, more challenges.
Yes.
And the army at Signal Hill, more challenges again. So Candice, it would be a good opportunity for the Minister of National Security to give us a visit in Tobago, just like how the Minister works there.
Now, as you look forward to budget coming up on Monday, I know the Chamber made some recommendations as a whole, as the Trinidad Tobago body. What is the Tobago division hoping to see coming out of the budget?
Well, we're looking forward to, one of the main ticket items we're looking at is the direct investment coming into the island.
Yes.
Because we need foreign exchange. That's the only way we could get foreign exchange. Otherwise, there are no other means because we do have oil and gas here. So we're looking forward to that support of direct investment coming on the island. The land license was a big challenge at one time. We asked either the THA take it over or you just get rid of it totally. All right, make investment a bit easier on island. So we're looking forward to that. We heard about the minimum wage, and that was something that most of our members do pay beyond minimum wage. But if you do move the minimum wage, that number that was bantering around, $30 and $25, that will have a ripple effect on some of the industries, especially in the food and beverage, even in the security industry. So you're moving minimum wage to, let's say, $30. You can imagine. Presently now, I think most of those fast food outlets pay their staff approximately probably $21 an hour. And you put that at $30 an hour, probably wouldn't even be able to afford a KFC. It will become very, very, very costly. And even in the security industry, you move minimum wage to something like $30. I'm telling you, all because that service, now crime is so high, and now you're going to add additional bill onto the business community. It's going to be real high. Security costs will definitely go up drastic.
Has there been any conversation between the government and the chamber or the business community in regards to how we should treat with an increase in minimum wage?
No, there haven't been any. And once we were on a committee that the chamber shares information with the union, and that committee has gone defunct. So we're looking forward to those kind of dialogue, because those are the dialogue that definitely needed before the announcement of minimum wage and then the amount, because you're going to just put a figure there and not study the effect of the figure, and that's a big problem we have now. So if you put a figure there without studying the effect of that figure, now the ripple effect, right? The business community will pass that cost on. There's no way they can absorb it coming out of the pandemic. How much more can we take, Candice?
Certainly.
We have been taking a lot.
No, and then one of those promises or one of those things that are continuously talked about every year for the budget is that of the VAT returns and so on that seem to not be getting to the business community despite what the minister says in Parliament.
Yeah, well, they will. I remember in Trinidad and even in Tobago in some areas, there were some challenges getting the returns, and they were giving you VAT bonds and so forth. Candice, you can imagine when you don't get your returns in a timely manner, how that affects your cash flow, and it really could be a real hard take for business not getting that return in a timely manner. We're hoping the minister mentioned something about that in his upcoming speech, and we're really looking forward to that budget on Monday. It will be a very exciting budget.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you look at everything that's been happening in the economy for Trinidad and Tobago, what are some of the things that you think that you want the public to pay attention to in the budget?
Yeah. Well, we really want the public to pay attention to one, if they're going to be a cost in doing business, because there ought to be some incentive going forward for business, right? And not just giving us additional expenses in the terms of raising minimum wage and other things. But there must be some incentive, something telling you that, hey, we want to get you back on right keel, so we think some investment in us as business owners in terms of incentives will be really, really good for us, whether tax or other incentive that will assist us going forward.
Mm-hmm. And then things like the property tax and so on that, of course, we keep hearing about, right? But was there a conversation with the business community, because the property tax regime would also affect the business community in a greater way than it would affect residents?
Yeah, that's correct. And well, slowly, surely, we know the property tax is coming, and it's coming via the residents first, and then the business community will be after. But it's something that we have to keep in mind, Candice, because you know, your landlords, you know, once you see taxes, they're going to pass it on to you.
Yes.
So most of us who rent in, you know, commercial spaces, they're going to pass some of that on to you in the common, what they call that common services cost. And you're definitely going to see a rise in some of these taxes. So it's something that we have to be mindful of. And when the government doing these things, that's why we ask for dialogue.
And there has not been.
No, there haven't been. The dialogue is not meaningful dialogue. There have been none at all. We in Tobago, we suffer a lot because we are the end of the stick. And so we are asking these other ministries, that the Ministry of Labor and the Ministry of Finance, you know, it would be nice for us to have some conversation going forward.
And then in terms of the electricity rates and all of that, because I mean, we're hearing, we know the RIC represented the report to the government and so on, and that's being considered. So the question is whether or not some of those recommendations will be implemented in the budget on Monday.
Well, I know for sure there definitely will be, right? Again, it's just the dialogue with the business community as we move forward. Because business is dynamite, and we understand what goes on in terms of rates and expenses, but it's a balancing act. Mm-hmm. So you take with one hand, you probably have to give with the other, right? So that's hence the reason why we're asking for some sort of incentive for business going forward, because it has been very difficult for us in Tobago coming out of the pandemic, and we know trying to get things on some even keel. The banks is still there. The mortgages don't change, the figure stays the same. And then we want to keep people employed, definitely. And so we're asking for a bit of incentive, whether for employment or the case may be. So let's look forward to that interested budget on Monday, and let's see what they have for the business community.
Okay, great. I want to thank you so much, Mr. Williams, for being on with us and for giving us a conversation. And yes, we'll be hearing from him on Monday and perhaps throughout the week, as we look forward to what's been happening with the budget and so on. And certainly, as the situation unfolds with what's going on with the cargo ferry, and looking forward to us having a new ferry. We're going to be hearing from you both more.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on.
Okay.
All right, now viewers, please don't go anywhere, because we have a lot more coming up for you after the break.
We are going on a new journey. Tobago now has its very own Carnival.
She like loud music and
Summerama, real steam for the summer standard. Is a dream for the summer. Dreamy, steamy, standard. What you have? All the best deals, no drama. Standard be beat like a hammer. Go tell your friend, tell your papa, tell your mama. We got more. Standards of what is searching for. Quality brand, discounts galore. New things for the summer, online in store. Summertime is here, so make the most out of it at Standard. Never beating on quality and price. It nice.
Mount Pleasant Credit Union Back to School Loan Promotion. Loans up to 15,000. Requirements: job letter and a payslip no more than 1 month old. Utility bill, copy of book list, salary deduction, 10% down payment. For self-employed persons, evidence of income and expenditure, bank statement, 12 to 18 months. Other supporting document. Promotion ends October 18. Contact us at 639-8375 or 8108, or check us out on www.mpcutobago.com or email us at loan@mpcutobago.com. Mount Pleasant Credit Union's Back to School Loan Promotion.
Tobago, get ready to venture into the unknown. Mighty Crush Entertainment presents Dream the Phantasm. Join us on September 30th, 2023 from 11 p.m. to experience your newest reality at the Shore Park Complex, Tobago. And the best part, you can get your tickets now at Lust Restaurant and Lounge, Gulf City Lowlands, Jade Monkey Bar, Pablo's Supermarket, Barcode, Spade, Stumpy Complex Canaan, or online at WeTix.com and IslandEtickets.com. Mighty Crush Hotline 755-7874 on September 30th at the Shore Park Complex, Tobago. Dream the Phantasm.
So your car break down.
Oh, no, not again.
And you're worried paying a wrecker could mean a pocket breakdown too. But when you're insured with Tatil, no stress.
Yes!
A Tatil motor policy has lots of benefits that protect your pocket, like free roadside assistance. That's free 24/7 every time, as many times as you need. Tatil, where people are people. A member of the Ansa McCall Group.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Inner Health, number 13B, Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago, with over 25 years experience offering services in and not limited to microscopic blood analysis, reflexology, and the sale of a wide range of organic herbal products used to supplement thyroid, lymphatic, heart, kidney, and brain health, and the male and female reproductive systems. Come and chat with us. Remember, your health is your wealth.
Good morning, Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, I hope you are having a great morning. If not, drink some coffee. It'll make you feel better. Anyway, so I'm being joined this morning by Mr. Maxlon Roberts, who is a farmer and an agro-processor on the island here. And we are talking about what's going on at TADCO, whether it's just a dismissal, outright dismissal process, or they are really restructuring. And he has quite a few thoughts on what's been going on as somebody who is not just a farmer, but who has actually studied quite a lot about, farming and so on, and all the business around farming. So a special good morning and welcome to you, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning, Candice. Good morning to Tobago. Good morning to all the viewers on the various platforms. It's always a pleasure being in studio, always a pleasure speaking to the issues, particularly as it relates to agriculture, because that is my field.
So first of all, let's just get into it with TADCO. TADCO says that this is not even a restructuring. They say it's a new direction in the way that they are going. They are realigning the workers to various positions, making sure, because some of them have elevated their educational capacity, want to make sure that they are getting what they deserve to be getting based on their improvements, making sure that they are in the right positions to be the most productive in the company. Do you believe that?
That is very interesting, and because I was a part of the sister company to TATCO, a sister company to TATCO Reforestation. TATCO and Tobago Reforestation got the same mandate at the same time to do the restructuring, right? I'm fully aware because my accounts administrative assistant was a part of the board of TATCO, so, and we worked together. So when we heard that TATCO is restructuring, well, let me give you my experience from reforestation, because as I indicated, they gave the same mandate. They were given the same mandate because they report to the same line secretary. Coming out of our restructuring, the same manpower audit was the same concept used to do a manpower audit to find out what is added deficiencies, indicating to people that they won't be displaced, they will be reassigned and all of that. That was our audit ended, well, the final aspect of it and the new restructuring, the new org chart structure, came into effect July, at the end of July. And as of the end of July, I am no longer employed with reforestation. So that concept and those statements, I see the same thing happening at TATCO because I've been through it and nobody can challenge my experience. So I am out of a job, as well as my accounts administrative assistant is now out of a job because of that restructuring. And notwithstanding all the promises that persons won't be disenfranchised, persons will be reassigned, they will open up for advertisement, which they did. They advertised it internally, we applied. It has nothing to do with, you see, the thing is that you have to go beyond the reapplication. After you reapply, what happens? Because we applied, we reapplied.
Did you get any response?
No, and that's the point I'm making till the present moment. So the same I'm seeing the same trend happening at TATCO. And that is, so I'm speaking from my experience with reforestation, knowing that both companies got the same mandate from the same line secretary. So we hope that TATCO persons, because they are much more disenfranchised than we are, and in the situation that exists, doesn't actually end up like us, where you're 2 months now, going on 3 months without employment.
So, what advice now? I mean, what have you spoken? Let me put it this way: have you spoken to the workers of TATCO? Have you been able to be in a position now to, I don't know, give them any advice as they're going through the situation where they are not sure? Well, I mean, we have on one hand TATCO and the secretary stating that there is a very good chance that they would all be rehired. But
we were given the same assurance, and we're still unemployed. So I guess because reforestation was much smaller in number, it didn't have so much of media coverage and stuff like that. So because of the pressure being applied from the media houses, from the different persons, they may have to now take the serious steps to actually ensure that what they're saying does happen. I tend to ascribe to the philosophy, hope deferred make the heart sick. So don't sit and just hope. Position yourself in the event that that doesn't happen. All right? Because I'm talking from my experience. So I transitioned from that seamlessly and have gone into doing my, maximizing my business, doing the necessaries to ensure that I'm still surviving. It's not as easy as it used to be, but I'm here doing what I have to do.
Will you consider putting your application in for TATCO, especially noting your qualifications and your training and so on?
Well, we saw something came out indicating that the positions, but then we saw that was retracted.
Yes.
So once it probably, because they say it's open for everyone, I'm sure, because my master's is in food safety and quality assurance, and I think TATCO with their whole processing facilities and where the new direction is going, they can use my expertise there as well.
And as we're talking about this new direction, I mean, I know you've been paying attention to these conversations quite a lot as someone who wants to do a lot in this space, right? What are your opinions? I mean, how do you view this new direction? Is this something that you have confidence in?
I have to say no, and the reason why, because of how the approach is being done in terms of the models they're using. And we were having a conversation off air regarding the contract farming, right? The poultry initiative. the pilot project. Now, I've done contract farming for Master Mix, which is a big feed company in Trinidad, because before I came to Tobago, I managed a farm in Las Lomas, a 26-acre farm, and we had several contract pens. That area was set up to do contract farming. And our experience was that it is very difficult. What they're actually doing is hiring labor smartly. They're getting free labor. So it was very difficult for us to make a profit. We used to run pens. We had 4 pens carrying on average 10,000 birds. And it was very difficult for us to make a profit because the model was wrong. And that was years ago. That was like 10, 15 years ago. So I am aware that that model doesn't work. I've lived through it. And so based on the approach they're taking in terms of adopting models, and they spoke about, well, that's the division now, the mega farms and all of that. Those models have been tested. So are we doing the necessary research to ascertain where the models fall down? Because you see, poultry farming is a very intricate and concise discipline. So that model of giving farmers feed, giving them it sounds nice, but it doesn't work out in the best interest because we're not trained sufficiently to ensure that it works. We're not using the technology. So what had happened with our situations, we changed the model and went to a model known as tunnel ventilation systems, which is what we're supposed to be looking at because that old model did not work. And the solution to it was to go to a tunnel ventilation system model that brings the actual reward. But that requires a lot more investment, it requires a lot more skill, it requires a lot more training.
And do you think that at the division, the TADCO, the technocrats there that are there now, that they are thinking in that direction?
They haven't mentioned anything of that sort, so I can't say that. If they were thinking of that, you would have heard the concept of tunnel ventilation systems come up because it's a different method, it's a different approach. It's a place where you have, it's a bit more costly, but that cost eventually you have the ability to now get your birds at an earlier time, have them consume a little less feed because of the conditions under which they are. So those factors allow you to actually come out more profitable. So, and I haven't heard anything regarding tunnel ventilation systems in the whole model. They're just saying, get farmers to extend their pens and all of these things, and that model wouldn't work. So I know it wouldn't work.
And then what about in terms of some of the other initiatives, like the other agro-processing initiatives that they have been engaging?
So take for the instance, the composite flour, that's an excellent idea because we must find some alternative to wheat flour because we don't grow wheat. However, it is very expensive to do composite flour, meaning the dashi, cassava, sweet potatoes, these types of flour, because we don't have the volume required. So if you're not once you increase volume, your unit cost goes down. It's something known as variable cost. So but I'm not seeing actual farming taking place, indicating to me that the raw materials to make these composite flour, I'm not seeing that. So it means you can't get the composite flour without growing the commodities. Or, I don't know if they have a plan to purchase the commodities from external. It might be cheaper, but we don't know. But that is a very efficient way, because if we have to go that way, if we have to keep these commodities, have them available, readily available, we have to have them in a storable form because they're perishable. And one of the best storable form is in flour. Once you go through that process, flours can store for quite some time. And those are efforts towards attaining food security and food sovereignty. So that is a good idea. But what are we actually going to do? Are we going to grow the commodities to be converted to these? Are we going to buy the commodities to be converted to these? If we're going to grow the commodities in these mega farm type systems and stuff like that, I am not seeing any steps towards accomplishing that. Because if I have to do composite flour with dasheen, I need a minimum of 6 months of growing period before I can actually get a dashi to harvest. If it's bananas, at a minimum for a year before I can actually get the product. So those inputs, those infrastructures need to go in now, so that in a year's time, 6 months time, 8 months time, I could say I expect this amount of volume coming out, so I can now convert to the composite flour. So the idea is a good one, because we need to start to wean ourselves off of this wheat flour, because we've been through that kind of crisis and we know what is the possibility. We have the challenge of having the gluten part of the flour, meaning that part that allows it to bind, but there are technologies that can treat with that, and you don't necessarily always just have to make breads. Composite flour can do well in making cakes and biscuits and pastas and these kind of things. So we have to look at along those lines to really make the things efficient.
But I mean, coming back also to this whole idea of, you know, these contracts are coming to an end, so now you have to reapply as a worker for either your position or some other position within there. Now, when we are talking about getting our agriculture sector up to that place where we can start to really have some form of food security here in Tobago, do you think that that would work?
What the
restructure? Well, okay, I don't know how to say if it's restructuring, because I mean, you know, TATCO
it's a
branded it as a new direction. So I'm using their words.
Yeah.
It's a new direction in terms of how they're going. Do you think that process would result in us seeing a difference in how we structure our food security here in Tobago?
That's a very good question. Because, well, I don't know what is the exact mandate, right? I've heard of and I've indicated what is my thoughts on. I've heard of the contract farming, I heard of the new direction, but I don't know if their mandate is to go to the place of accomplishing food security and food sovereignty. I highly doubt that is the mandate, the direct mandate. So it doesn't matter if you restructure. What you're supposed to do is use who you have and train them accordingly to satisfy the requirements of your mandate. If you realize I don't have what I need, I could train, or I could, I guess, hire new persons. But I don't think just a restructuring would facilitate that, because it's more than just I need to stop using the word restructure. What is it? A new direction. I don't think a new direction is not. It has nothing to do with really a new direction. It deals with what is the policy decision that you have made regarding food security. If I can see the policy decision and what informs me as from a layman, the policy decision is based on what I've seen in the budget, right? Because we've presented our budget. And when I've looked at what I've seen in the budget as it pertains to agriculture, food security, I see some aspect of training, but I'm not seeing the position where, or the place where I'm seeing tangible steps, the right tangible steps being taken to actually see or secure food security. I'm not seeing what is required, because I have this philosophy: we teach to the clarity of our examples. Words don't teach, it's life experiences that teaches, especially in agriculture. You have to physically exemplify how you're going to accomplish, because it can be measured. Agriculture is a thing that is very measurable. You can measure output. So if I say my food import bill is 1 billion, I am taking steps to reduce that by 1% for every quarter. Now that is something I can measure over time, and I hold you accountable. But once we don't approach it like that, saying a restructuring and a new mandate is going to aid in accomplishing food security, that's just nice structured words, right? In my opinion, my humble opinion. But once I'm not seeing tangible outputs that I can measure over time, then I'm not convinced.
No, and as you mentioned that point, I mean, I go back to the poultry initiative that's been quite a heart of our discussions lately. And there is that target of being able to produce 250 chickens per month for consumption, because that's what the data that they gathered informed us that, you know, that's our basic consumption rate. Now, again,
250 chickens per month?
250,000, sorry, right? Now, do you think that the way that they have structured this initiative is going to be able to produce that amount within, I think it would say that within a year's time.
Oh, yeah.
Are you confident that that is
If it's a year, that's a very small part. But because it's spanned over a year, it definitely can be accomplished. 250,000 pounds of birds we consume as a population monthly. That's quite a feat. But so 250,000 pounds of birds per month for the next 12 months, right? That's what we're looking at. Because that's what we have to accomplish. Because
yes, try to get to that point in a year's time.
Right? Oh,
yes.
Try to get to 250,000 pounds per month yearly in a year's time. Yeah, that could be accomplished. The model wouldn't allow us to accomplish it though, because we're going to have, what is going to happen over time, your mortality is going to, mortality rates and stuff like that will eventually come into play. Diseases are going to come into play because we're now introducing a new type of system that wasn't here before. So there are always contingencies. There need to be certain contingencies to be put in place to facilitate or to allow us to be able to accomplish that target. But it's a reasonable target. I must say it's achievable.
Now, I mean, earlier in a conversation, you touched on the idea of mega farms, and and then even before we came on, we talked about the struggles of Tobago being able to produce produce on a commercial scale. And I want you to talk a little bit to that, and the fact that there's so much of us of our farmers that are still treating it like a hobby, and our systems are not in place to even encourage the commercial aspect of it.
Exactly. And the reason there are two main factors that contribute to that. The necessary infrastructures aren't in place just yet, right? Because where I farm, all this talk I talk about farming, I don't have access to irrigation. I depend on the rain system, or I've got water connection, but it doesn't work because the distance doesn't allow me to get the actual water. So the infrastructures that would assist or aid persons to increase productions are still lacking in some areas. And where I farm in Lowido is one of the main farming communities or main farming areas. The lands there are one of the most fertile on the island. So it's a good area to do farming. But where the farmlands are, the infrastructure, the basic infrastructure, you can't farm without water. The basic infrastructures aren't in place. So that is a discouragement. This, notwithstanding my efforts to encourage persons, but when I encourage them and then they end up doing something, trying to catch the rainy season and this on and off, because that dry period proved challenging to me. It caused my production to drop significantly. So those factors need to be sorted out to allow farmers to be encouraged, one. And secondly, that approach that we have and that thinking that we have that anybody can farm needs to change. We have to approach the discipline from a scientific standpoint because it's a science. And secondly, we have to approach it from a business standpoint because it's a business. So this idea that we can just throw two plants in the back of our yard or we can just try our hand, no, it doesn't work like that. You need to do research. You need to understand the discipline as a science, and you need to understand market and economics as you treat with the discipline as a business. Because if you don't appreciate the concepts of marketing, of entrepreneurship, that's why I brand myself as an agro-entrepreneur, not a farmer, because there's a distinction, there's a transition. When you move from the way that transition from thinking as though, let me just try doing some lettuce without doing any market research to know if lettuce would be in season or out of season. When I just throw stuff and guess at it, I'm setting myself up to the fluctuations of the market. So once you've gotten the training, once you've done your market research, once you've done the necessaries, and you approach the discipline from that standpoint, then we can say we're ready to move systematically to a place of where the farmers expand their production. But it requires a lot more work, because the methods and the way we do it, this traditional way we approach farming, is not going to get us anywhere close to food security, anywhere soon.
All right. Well, unfortunately, Mr. Roberts, I think we're at the end of our conversation. We are out
Right.
of time, but I want to thank you so much for being on for what was quite an insightful conversation. And yeah, we should have you on for a bit more.
Definitely. Do look forward to always coming back, and Tobago, have a blessed day. Looking forward to keeping in touch.
All right. Well, viewers, that's it for the program this morning. But I want to thank you so much for joining us, and do have a safe and wonderful day. And we'll see you again tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.